Good day, everybody. I'm Todd Standing. Thanks for tuning into my Sasquatch Sunday video today. Today we're going to go through two new Sasquatch videos that have been circulating around the internet and investigate their potential validity or lack thereof. So we're going to take this step by step, go into as much depth as we can to see what we can figure out with these impressive videos, potentially or not. So let's have a look at it and see what we can find out. The first one we're going to look at here is it's in a vertical. It was filmed, it looks like, so I'm going to have to do it in two different segments. We'll start with the upright here. So, you know, it's a tall Sasquatch looking like figure, but not really very authentic looking to me. There's not much for muscularity. It just looks like a costume, and then there's a mask of a face that I can't recognize the mask. I've never seen a store you could buy a mask like this in, but it does look very mask-like to me. And then what the dead giveaway is. So a couple weeks ago, we looked at a video. I'm going to show this one from just a few weeks ago that I looked at. It had some Sasquatch calls that people were very interested in, and then showed the Sasquatch footage. Legs on a real being are very muscular and linear. You're going to see these legs quite clearly. They get wide, they get skinny, they jiggle around. I mean, that's clearly not an anatomical leg shape in any way, shape, or form. And without this section, I would have been somewhat more convinced of the reality of this footage. So let me even see how the leg just moves in different directions. You can see it's pants and it's loose. And it'll really come clear and show you that more clearly, even when I take it and move it back in reversal. If it's a real being, the muscularity will really, really show. And as I'm moving it back here, you can clearly see how that leg is just wonky. It's weird shape. See now it's wide and it's skinny. So it's just actually loose pants that really are a dead giveaway to absolutely confirm that this is not authentic, real footage. Didn't really spend much time fixing the bottom. That was a dead giveaway with this one. Well, we're seeing that as well. If we look at the bottom half of this particular video, you can also see that the bottom is flailing around. So no need for a backstory on this one. If it was better footage, I would ask for a backstory. The particular events that were transpiring. In this case, it just looks like a Sasquatch simply walked past some guy who had his cell phone in record mode. So, but again, no need for a backstory. It's clearly just not an authentic piece of footage. However, let's have a look at this next piece that I find very interesting. I don't know what it was filmed in, why it's black and white. Maybe it's thermal with heat. I'm not really sure why it was black and white. And this segment is very, very short, but not so easy to poke holes in this one. So it does legitimately have the look of the Patterson Sasquatch female. Looks like a male. And then looking at the back of this particular individual, you know, it looks interesting to me. I've noticed that the back of a Sasquatch seems to be very muscular, and I'm not seeing that muscularity in this, but there's significant bulges in the body, and just quite a very interesting video. So this one, I'm not seeing any red flags that are blatantly obvious other than, you know, what I just mentioned, but I'd like to know the backstory, and I don't know it. So if anybody could tell me, you know, when this video was filmed, how old it is, and I could try to get to the bottom of that. This video, however, reminds me of a costume that Mark Anders was using years and years ago that looked very authentic. Let's have a look at that footage. So this is Mark Anders, and a piece of footage that, you know, looked very interesting to me, had, you know, a lot of good shape to it, and seemed to be a decent video at the very least. I didn't think it was legit just based on the width of the Sasquatch and the lack of particular muscularities in certain areas to what I've seen in reality. But still, it had potential to be real. And then I did some research, obviously, on Mark Anders and found out that he'd been using this costume in various different ways and obviously was completely inauthentic and not real. So, and I'm seeing significant similarities between these two particular individuals, if you want to call them that, these two pieces of footage. So if it is Mark Anders, I didn't see it. I haven't found that yet, and I would be very interested in learning more about that. So again, if you have that information, please go to my website, send me an email, or in the comments below. I'd love to hear more about it so I can get to the bottom of this particular piece of footage. Whenever I get these kind of videos, I'll do the best I can to deduce them based on my video editing background. I am the post-production editor for the movie Discovering Bigfoot. I was entirely responsible for post-production of that film, like Discovering Bigfoot Part 1, and Part 2 will be coming out in the next few months, probably a June release. June release is likely what we're looking at. A lot of people have been asking about that. So I also have, you can understand too, I'll tell you something. When I've filmed and got photographs of Sasquatch, you know, I have 9 different videos now, including the latest one that's coming out in California. Or no, there's 2 in the California one, so there's 2 more videos there. So that'll be video 9 and video 10. So I've literally got 10 different times where I've went out and had photographs or videos of Sasquatch. But what's important to know is, I'll tell you, if you film them and had photographs of them that many times, I mean, I've had dozens and dozens of other sightings. At this point as well, literally, I'm at, last I counted, I was at 26 expeditioners I've taken out into the field and had eyewitness encounters transpire from them. And that's not including the top of the head that was filmed in the episode of Survivor Man Bigfoot, which is really, really significant. I'll play a little sequence of that for you because that's something I'm very proud of. In the episodes I filmed with Survivor Man in 2013 and 2014, we did 4 episodes. My colleague and friend Amanda was able to have a look at with this top of the head of the Sasquatch that Survivor Man filmed, and I don't even make any bones about it. If you don't think that's the top of the head of a Sasquatch, Survivor Man is out in the godless hella middle of nowhere, where I would never leave anybody that didn't have tremendous skills in the wilderness like Survivor Man. And he's out there, and I'm at the bottom of the mountain with his film crew, and he's all alone, and there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing that could have done this. This is the top of the head of a Sasquatch. It matches the shape of the Patterson female's head at the top. It matches the shape of Jake that I filmed, and it's simply a young male Sasquatch with a pointy top of his head. And in the wilderness, you know, it has a point at the top of its head without ears or horns. Nothing. Not in the Canadian wilderness. So we did 2 in Nordegg, my Nordegg research site, and then 2 in my Radium research site, which is where I'm at full time now. In Radium is where I've got the majority of my footage from video 4 up, has all been from Radium. So very, very proud of the results I've been able to get, but with the experience I've had, especially eyewitnessing them in real life. And I'll tell you, most of the time now when I'm out with expeditioners, people pay me to guide them out to see Sasquatch. Multiple individuals do this, and it's really their expedition. I am their guide, but they pay for the expedition, and I wouldn't be out there without them, so I'm very grateful. So most of the time, these men and women want to go out with no cameras. And the reasoning behind it, which I absolutely love, is they're not interested in getting footage. They don't believe they could get better footage than I already have. They just want to experience it for themselves. And in case you're unaware of this, having a camera, I can't tell you how many times I've been out with an expeditioner and he sees a Sasquatch and then he reaches down to get his camera, turns his camera on or hits record, and in that time frame, he loses the moment. So often a sighting will be no more than, what if it's just a 5-second sighting? If you spend 3 seconds looking at your camera trying to hit record, and you're going to just lose the moment. You should be there in the moment, looking at that Sasquatch, enjoying what you've, reaping the seeds that you're sowing. And if you're focusing on a camera or that's your intent, it just doesn't work out very well. And that's literally about 7 times I can think of where we've had sightings and people have ruined the moment trying to get footage. And nobody that's ever been out with me has successfully got anything other than a blob squatch. So filming. So, and again, remember, the majority of the time is people just don't care. They sit there and enjoy the moment and feel into it, and I absolutely think that's amazing. So one of my biggest complaints is when you're getting new footage, when it comes, when time happens. I'm not really, to be honest, I'm not interested in doing what I've done before. I have gotten incredible footage. I love the HD 1080p high quality focused footage that people still complain about. So there seems to be this position that people have, and I hear this all the time. Well, I'm sick of blurry images, and then I give them blurry image, and they say, "Well, it doesn't look real enough to me." Well, I can't have it both ways. People want it both ways, and it just doesn't work that way. But I'm really, this year in 2024, I really want to take it to the next level. And I know what that is. We have Sasquatch come around us a lot. They get within 20 yards of us multiple times. Probably the two most significant sightings I had this year are up on this YouTube channel, where we got expeditioners and I got within 20 yards of a Sasquatch. We didn't film it. We had no, it was, you know how badly that would have ruined the moment. I've literally got a Sasquatch looking me in the eyes. And I'm going to reach down and grab my camera and hit record and start. No, that wasn't going to happen. And the situation was amazing and fantastic, and all the expeditioners and I had an incredible experience. The Sasquatch literally called us out, and we had these interactions with them at night that were absolutely brilliant. And I'm glad it happened the way it did. You know, it would have ruined everything to dick around with cameras and lose that moment. And you got to understand, this is real life. This is not some fancy pants movie. To get a camera going, like, we're called out by a Sasquatch. Sasquatch are there right now, and they're flighty. When we got out there and started interacting with them, they walked off, which was very unfortunate. And I refused to chase them, so we just enjoyed the moment and let it last. And but the point of this is that moment and other moments like that, they're getting closer and closer. And ideally, what I would like to repeatedly be able to do first is have the Sasquatch come around us, interact with us in ways like Diane Fossey and Jane Goodall do with gorillas and chimpanzees. So that's really the next level of what we need to accomplish, and I can actually see that happening in this next year even. So because they've been so close, and that's really our goal this year, is to have a Sasquatch just kind of sit down and forage around us. And once we can repeatedly do that over and over, which I have not been able to yet accomplish, but that is next on the horizon, then we'll start getting new pieces of footage, and those pieces of footage will be outstanding. No different than what National Geographic did coming out with Diane Fossey and photographing her gorillas. I would like to actually just have that happen with Sabe, where we have a dedicated videographer or photographer come out and film myself or someone on my team live interacting with these incredible beings in that way. So that's the goal, that we're taking this to the next level. I'm very, very excited about having all that happen. So stay tuned, much more to come. This was Sasquatch Sunday. I'm live on Wednesdays on this YouTube channel. I'll have my Throwback Thursday video coming up again this week. Until then, take care. Thanks for tuning in, and bye for now.